But so for those who don't know who you are for whatever reason, in a estate agency, who are you? How do you help estate agents?
Yeah, I'm Kyriacou. I help estate agents mainly with digital marketing and generating leads from Facebook, Google, and other social media platforms. I help design funnels that take leads from being a cold lead all the way into a client and nurture them after that through email and video, stuff like that. I
That's
also have quite a big Facebook group that people are part of. They can get tips and share ideas with other estate agents on how business is doing right now and what they can do to make their business better. We have some weekly team meetings over Zoom. So yeah, there's lots of stuff going on that helps estate agents to improve their business.
nice. Nice. So obviously, I've seen you speak about this quite a lot in Facebook groups as well. You feel that now is not a time for estate agents to stop advertising by any means. Why?
No,
Why is that? There's a lot of agents saying that a lot of them are stopping it. A lot of them are confused as to what they should be
yeah,
advertising.
yeah.
Why is now just not the time to stop feature?
Yeah, obviously there's a temptation to cut costs right now, and I respect that decision. For me, I'd probably want to move some costs around. I know there's a lot of people moving platforms or portals, should I say. You might want to take some of that saved cost and put it into Facebook ads. And the reason for that is, if you stop advertising now, when we pick up tools again, when everything goes back to normal, I say in inverted commas, you're going to have a gap in your lead pipeline if you stop now. And the facts are, leads that we're putting into our lead pipeline now are probably, more often than not ready to instruct right away anyway. So this gives you a good opportunity to build a relationship with them until the point of, where we come out of this and they might be ready to market their property. So I would 100% keep going, maybe change the message. If you're trying to get round for a valuation, that might not work right now. But I would certainly be taking measures to continue to talk to my marketplace, continue to add value, continue to build myself as an authority in the space and get people to know, like, and trust me until they're ready to market in the future. But I would certainly not put down tools now because you will be leaving a gap in your pipeline of leads in the future.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree with you there. So you spoke about valuations, where it's not really a good time to advertise to go around and do a valuation. Nobody really wants other people in their home, especially to be sold to. So what are you doing differently for agents, and what are some of your agents doing differently in their lead gen, in their Facebook ads, to kind of get around that?
Well, we're still doing very similar stuff to before in terms of, lead generation tactics. So the top of the funnel hasn't really changed. We're still building awareness at that point, still getting people to know who we are and what we do. And then, at the bottom of the funnel where you'd normally close for business, we're not doing that right now. That's pretty much switched off. But there's no reason why we shouldn't be getting people to download our free ebook or guide or whatever it is on tips on how to get the best price for their property, or sharing community news, that sort of stuff. But yeah, going around for a valuation is not going to work. Some agents are offering virtual valuations. I've not really tried that, but it seems to be working for some people, where the vendor can show them around the house with the mobile phone or what have you. For me, I'm not sure I see the point of that. That could be time spent doing something else in terms of delivering value. You're not going to get that house on the market right now, but it still is a good building relationship tactic, I suppose, relationship building tactic, I suppose, just the fact that you're doing that. I've been advising clients to take time to do video, right? So whereby when we used to get someone to download a free guide, for example, or get an instant valuation online to try and get their email address and contact info, and then rely on email to just follow them up. Now I'm saying, well, you've got all this time in your hands, why don't you send them a personal video from you, the director of the company or whatever, just letting them know how excited you are and how thankful you are to have them on your mailing list, and what you're going to be doing in the coming weeks, and give them an insight into your day at work, what you're doing now in lockdown. People want to know, what are the estate agents doing right now? So I'd be doing stuff like that.
Nice. So, about virtual valuations, I've seen these a lot as well myself. I've seen a lot of agents kind of substitute any value that they're putting out. That's kind of the only way they've adapted their social media, is with virtual valuations. Why do you feel that's, because personally I don't really feel like it's enough just to adapt and just put out a virtual valuation, say, like, so we're adapting, you go down this instead. I mean, do you feel the same? And if so, why is that? Why is that not enough to really adapt to this
You
situation?
know, in truth, I've not really thought it out enough how I feel about the virtual valuation. Um, on the spot, and don't hold me to this, but on the spot, it feels a little bit pointless. Like I just said, okay, it might be valuable as a relationship building technique, but you're going to have to go around there eventually to see the property anyway. I don't think we can do a valuation
Yeah,
and then put a property on the market virtually. You need to see the house, you need to see where it's situated. There's so many factors that go into the valuation of a property. It's not just the interior of the house. An agent will get a feel for the area, feel for where it is, it's situated, the neighbours, all sorts of stuff that will go into the valuation of the property itself. So I think a virtual valuation, whilst it's ticking a box and it's maybe a nice thing to offer, I think it's not going to be creating any extra instructions, and that's what we want, isn't it? With those sort of things. So I think if we're concentrating on relationship building right now, and that's what we should be doing, is concentrating on building those relationships. I think there's better things we can do to do that. But it's like a video call, really, isn't it? A virtual valuation. It's just like a video call. So you might as well just have a video call with them about the market and about what you're doing. I haven't really thought it out enough, but those are my initial thoughts.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I've seen a few virtual valuation tools. There's actually quite a few popping up right now. It's basically like a free online valuation, but with like 12 other questions to fill out. There's a lot of obviously information that has to go into actually valuing a home to get it as detailed as possible.
Right.
The problem that I see with that is if you're advertising that, people are going to mistake that for one of those free online valuations. They're going to go to it. There's so much information to fill out, and they simply just don't want to fill out 15 questions about their house and give that information right now. It's not, it's only really something that when you've got a lead, you would call them and then you go around for their free valuation for yourself. It's not. I don't feel like it's a tool to advertise to the wider audience in your market, because it's not like it's a free valuation and just using it as that.
I mean, at the end of the day, as we both know, the more questions you put in front of someone, the less likely they are to commit or complete the registration, right? So that's why instant valuation tools, when we do them, we have literally 2 questions on there. How many bedrooms is it and what's the postcode? That's it. And then maybe some contact info, but all of that info really can be gathered on the virtual call itself. You don't need them to fill it out. If I were doing something like that, I would literally just have name, email address, telephone number, when they'd like to do this, have this appointment, and then we can find out all the rest of the information during the talk, during the information gathering on the talk. So I wouldn't do that. I think the other thing you're battling at the moment with the virtual tour solution is people are switched off. Like, they're switched off. No one's expecting to go and view a house. No one's expecting people to come around their house. I think people think estate agency in terms of selling property is switched off right now. And I'm not saying it is, but I think that's the general perception. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's still sales to progress. There's still lettings issues to deal with, tenants and so on. There's still properties to get through to exchange and completion. There's lots of stuff to be done. I'm not saying estate agency business is closed, but that portion of it, I think there's an expectation that nothing much is going on in terms of listing property. I mean, if I were a seller, why would I want to put my property on the market at a time when buyers can't come and see it? Makes no sense, right? So, like I said, then that leaves us with the fact that the virtual valuation is just simply a relationship building exercise. And because it's something that we're not used to, or it could become a bit clunky, I don't think it's the best way to build a relationship. I could think of other ways, maybe a community group or whatever, but I'm just thinking off the cuff right now. But having a 12 question questionnaire to start is just, it's not going to get you anywhere.
No. I mean, for agents that haven't really focused on Facebook ads and lead gen, with Facebook ads too much, obviously now is really a good time to start being seen because people are, in their homes. Attention is at a lower cost right now because there's more of it and people are pulling out their marketing spend and stuff. What are some of the steps that you would go down or recommend agents go down in terms of what their advertisement should be at this time if obviously they haven't, started with Facebook ads in the past or had too much success with it?
Well, they say they haven't had much success, but that's because people like to just jump on and bash the boost button and then hope for some response. And estate agents historically love direct response. They think they're going to put out one advert and get a valuation booked in. But we know that that really doesn't work. It's the same with leaflets, for example. We're so used to putting out 1,000 leaflets and hoping somebody will call. And the excuse has always been, well, if it gets me one instruction, it's been worth it. Well, no other marketing circle would accept that sort of return. No other marketing circle would accept 1% return on their investment. So why do we? Because the fees are high, but it's still a waste. And it's the same with Facebook ads or social media ads. If you're only getting a 1% conversion on your ad, then it's just not working, right? Going back to a question, what should they be doing? I think they should be looking at building a series of sequential ads that drive someone that's never heard of them into a fan, or or build their authority in their local area through a set of videos, and just keep building that authority and that trust until time when we can turn the tap back on. They can be having conversations, consultations. Part of my business model at the moment is to chat to as many people like we're doing now, and just build those relationships virtually until time comes where we can do something with that information. But I would certainly still be running some sort of lead gen campaign or video about who we are, but certainly driving people to a free ebook or something like that adds value. I'm a tool that a lot of agents use at the moment is an instant valuation, and it's a really easy way to gather email addresses, and it still works well. We've got lots of campaigns running those, but if I were maybe to set something up now, if I were an independent, I probably wouldn't go down that line. I'd probably go for the let's build authority, so with a guide or a checklist or tips on how to improve the value of your home, and that will help you to build a list of people that you can speak to in the future. And people that do this, estate agents that do this, find that they build relationships with clients way before they're looking to sell their property. So that the time comes that they are actually looking to sell, they're the only agent ever called in. And that helps with fee, that helps with chance of being instructed. So, that helps with all sorts of stuff. You really, when you're the only agent in, you don't have to worry about having to drop your fee because of another agent coming in. You know that you've built your relationship, you've done your work in advance, and they're going to instruct you. So it's when you've built these relationships, it's yours to lose. And more often than not, you just won't. So I would definitely keep sowing seeds now for later.
Nice. So you are obviously still running lead ads with lead forms and stuff and getting email addresses. I spoke to a couple of people about this recently as well. Gated content, where you have to have the information input before you can get out of there. Some people aren't running that right now. I'm still testing out ads, whether they convert better in terms of building a database, people in Messenger that I'm sending them to with gated content, and without gating the information, just give it to them straight away and just use that one-time notification to follow up. How do you feel about gated content? Is it something that you don't have a problem with? You don't really see a problem with at this moment in time?
I think gated content is still, it depends on the content, right? And your relationship with that person. If they are a cold lead, right, never heard of you, then gated content will probably get you a lower conversion rate. But if you've managed to build a bit of authority with that person through a series of videos on Facebook, through some blog posts or what have you, then having the gate to the content, they're likely, they want to give you their email address because they want more information. I think a better way of talking about this is probably a hybrid, and that's, you would have heard of it, but a content upgrade, right? So you give them the content. So even with an instant valuation, something I've been speaking to a few people about is, well, let's give them the instant valuation for free without it being gated, and then offer them a report or some statistics or the comparables or a more fuller list of information in exchange for their email. So I think, you know, a lot of blog posts now are doing that. I do that for sure. You know, if I'm doing a blog post on a blueprint for how to generate leads on Facebook, at the end, I'll have, do you want this in a PDF, or do you want to get more information about this? Then put your email address in. So, you know, you show, or you tell without the gate, and then, you know, you show how it's done with the gate. So I think you need both, for sure. You need to be capturing that email at some point, in my opinion. Otherwise, what are you measuring? You know, with your ads, you're just measuring impressions, you're measuring clicks. We know those are just vanity metrics. We need to have a conversion at the end of it. I think there's definitely mileage in having your content not gated in terms of building relationship, but then when you're actually, you know, giving something of value or upgrading that content, then ask for the email address so you can use it later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, one thing I'm doing with that is, you know, using ManyChat. So we have the initial ad, it says send message, they get the guide, and then I have another question following up just to say, you know, can we ask some questions about your move? Yes or no? Yes, then we get their information because they've, you know, volunteered to do that at this time. No, then that's fine. We just use a one-time notification in ManyChat and then just send them something of value, maybe a video the next day. Then it has obviously the unsubscribe if they want to. There's no like super ask, and there's no real you know, gate to the content. It's entirely up to them, because obviously you can just retarget at a later date everybody that's messaged your page, you know, when times are better, and you can
but you're just being clever with the gate. It's still a gate, because as soon as they click the button, they go in your messenger audience, right?
I guess they do.
Yeah.
Have the option to unsubscribe straight away.
Yeah. I mean, that's a smart way of doing it. But I was talking more, let's say someone's on your website or on your blog, or they want to download a free guide on your site. You know, that's where you'd probably need the gate to convert that traffic into leads. But obviously you can have your messenger widget on your site to do that for you. Messenger's great, and we used it for a long time. But lately, with all the rules, for me, it's just getting a bit confusing as to what we can and can't do. But with sponsored messages, I think, you know, there's still an avenue to really push a message out. I mean, I received one yesterday from Russell Brunson about his new book. I was like, well, how has he done this? You know, has he sent me this? It's well out of 24 hours, and obviously it's a sponsored message. So it's still good to build your message, your audience on Messenger. I mean, for me, when I push leads into Messenger, they go directly into my email list as well. You know, I've got that connected, so it might be worth looking at that. But also, you know, ManyChat is allowing you to email clients now as well. But it goes with the issue with that is it goes out with all the ManyChat branding all over it. But it's a good way to bring people back into the bot. So definitely, I love ManyChat as a platform. I think it could be used to good effect in a estate agency.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously a few minutes ago you kind of spoke about, you know, the gap in lead gen if you're not advertising right now compared to if you do pop up in a few months' time. You know, what are going to be some of the benefits, you know, for vendors and landlords especially? How are they going to view agents that just, you know, disappear at this moment in time and then pop up in, you know, September when everything's back to normal, say, compared to an agent that was constantly seen during this time with ads and giving value? You know, who are they going to choose, and also why? How is that going to have a detrimental effect on an estate agent?
Well, it's a bit like this, you know. Generally, when there's no relationship being built, what a vendor will do is go online and try and find some agents and call 3 or 4 in randomly. You know, they may have been given a recommendation. They may have not. They may have just gone on the top 3 sites that came up on Google when they type their area in, and the estate agent look at the websites, pick the ones they like the look of, and it's all very random. And because estate agents all look very similar online and in the way they present themselves, it becomes very difficult for them to show that vendor how they're different and justify their fee, okay? Because they've only just started a relationship. So they'd have started the relationship from that phone call, or from, we could get technical and say, well, the relationship starts from when they viewed the website. Okay, so by the time you get to the property, you're now, if 3 agents are coming in, you're now realistically a 1 in 3 chance. You know, we used to teach out about building relationship with the vendor. What's the word? I can't think of the word right now, but when you build a bit of synergy, rapport, that's it. You know, build rapport, your rapport building skills and all that. But that's just really, it's ego talk. It's bollocks. You know, to think that you've got great rapport building skills, you're just chatting shit, because everyone's different. You know, I'm guilty of having said it in the past, you know. So you're just leaving it to chance. Some will have better rapport building skills than others, but you have to assume when you go into that appointment that everyone else has got the same level of skill as you. Otherwise, you know, you're dooming yourself. You're never going to get any better. But when you when you have a relationship that's been built in advance, and you're coming along to that appointment, and then they see you finally after having this chat over email or messenger or whatever it is, and they've been reading your guides and reading your tips and seeing your videos, right, for the last 2-3 months. Well, even if they do invite some other agents in, your chance of getting that instruction is tenfold compared to theirs. And that's why I said earlier, it's yours to lose, you know. So that's why I'm saying continue to build relationships now. All right, we're not going to go and take them on, but you're building that relationship. You're adding to what we used to call the cup of obligation, right? You're continuing to fill that cup of obligation. You're getting them to like you. And that when it comes to that point, you know, how can they let you down, basically? How can they can't, because you've been chatting to them all this time. You've built a relationship. And and the benefit is, you know, building relationships now is, even if that person doesn't instruct you, even if they don't come to the market, you've built a relationship that's so good that when they find, you know, they speak to someone who is coming to the market, they're going to tell them about you. People love to recommend services. Everyone loves to have a dentist or a lawyer in their pocket that they can refer to, right? And it's the same with estate agents. And I don't remember the last time I was in a coffee shop or a restaurant and didn't overhear a conversation about estate agents or property. So what I'm saying is continue to build those relationships so that you're continuously part of that conversation. Because people are going to keep talking about the market for as long as there's property. So definitely, yeah, keep going, keep building those relationships, send out videos, just keep building the foundations of that relationship. And then when we come out of this, and we will one day, you've got relationships there that you can start working with. Otherwise, yeah, like I say, let's say we're in another 5 weeks of this, 6 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, let's say 4 weeks, we put down tools now, we stop our lead gen now, we've got a 4-week gap, then we've got to restart everything. Really, that's going to take another 4 weeks to restart. So you've got an 8-week gap in your lead gen pipeline when you could just keep on going now, and not stop. And it doesn't cost that much, does it? I mean, you can do a Facebook ad campaign from as little as £5 a day. It's going to cost you 150 quid for a month if you're not using someone to manage it for you. So it's really not that expensive. I would advise people get used to doing video and get used to cranking out content. Yeah. Because that's really going to help in all this downtime. Some of our clients that are doing video are just, they're really just on fire. But yeah, definitely adding video to the nurture journey as well, so that people can watch something, see something live from you straight away. That's what I was doing before this call, to be honest. I was recording a video for our new virtual sessions. Just recording a video saying, a thank you video, so people can get to see who they're going to speak to in advance. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah, nice. So just finally, is there anything else you'd like to add to any estate agents or letting agents out there that may be struggling with lead gen at this time, especially through Facebook? And is there, if those like three simple steps for them to go down at this time to kind of, remain being seen by their market, by their vendors and landlords, obviously have those relationships in a few months' time? Yeah. What would they be?
I would concentrate on building like value videos and writing a guide or something like that. These are the things that agents don't tend to have. So then we go for the easy option, like an instant valuation tool. But really, the only reason we use that is because it's easy to implement. And most agents don't have anything of value to give away. So I'd focus on building something that's of value that I can give away, getting used to being in front of the camera, record some why videos, why you do what you do, follow those up with how. So how you do what you do, Okay. And then the final stage, which you'll know is the what, you know, record videos about what you do for the money, but really there's no point concentrating on those right now. Just a bit of why, do some videos about town. You know, you can still get out and about. You can't converse with anyone, but you can get out and about in your town. Just to be honest, I may have waffled a little bit there, but what I'm trying to say is just get used to doing the things that you should be doing anyway, that you always find the lack of time as an excuse to not do. Because when we come back, those people that have utilized this time to find new tools, to find new ways of doing things, are going to be the ones that have more weapons in their arsenal. You know, those people that have done virtual tours or have done virtual valuations or have spoken to their vendors via video or done something different that they would never have done, they're going to have new tools in their arsenal when we go back. So it's really important to use this time to try and find new ways of communicating with the audience in a way that they want to be communicated with, as opposed to, you know, what we've done for centuries. I hope that made sense. I did meander a little bit there. But certainly think about, what we've been training lately is really thinking about the client journey, you know, from when they visit your website, let's say, what's going to happen then. We always, you know, and have no dead ends in that flow. So they visit the website, cool, they sign up to my email list, they get an email, they see a blog, and it becomes a valuation appointment in the end. They visit my website, they don't sign up. Okay, now I'm going to retarget them with an advert. That advert's going to tell them this. People that watch that video will be retargeted with this video, and just plan out the whole thing until there's no leaks in that funnel. Yeah. And that will really help. You know, speak to someone like yourself, and really try and build out that funnel together. That, you know, that would be handy. Not everyone really knows what we're talking about when we're talking about funnels. So it'd be good. I would recommend that they reach out to someone like yourself to help them design that and see how you can implement all these different tools like you do, you know, with Instagram and stuff like that. That's a great tool for estate agents right now, but not many are using it to its fullest. So yeah, reach out and make relationships. This period is all about building relationships. That's it. That's all we're doing right now. That's my advice.
Nice one. So finally, where can they find you online? Where can they go to your website, you know, to get your trainings and everything like that?
So you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Mr. Chris K. Just a K letter, no AY. The business website is eaanalytics.co.uk. So that's analytics with an EA at the front for estate agent. On there, we sell canvassing letters. You can find out a bit more about our managed Facebook service. And we also have a course that teaches agents how to do it for themselves. And anyone can reach out to me and find out the link for that. We're currently closed for students. We like to close the doors on student cap so that, you know, I can give my time to everyone as they need. So yeah, the best place is online. I've got a Facebook group as well, which is facebook.com. If you just look up digital marketing for estate agents, you'll be able to join that. And that's a great group. Loads of tips being shared in that group.
Nice one. Right then. So